anything they do particularly well in the red zone?
Well, they keep people from scoring, which is good. No, but you know, they are they're more about doing what they do and doing it really well, as opposed to tons of different personnel groupings on defense. You know, there's just a different philosophy. Some people want to throw a bunch of different stuff at you, and it's hard to be good at all of it. You know, they might get you, and they maybe do a little bit less, but what they do, you know, they try to do it well and try to be sound and make sure that everyone's on the same page so they can play fast.
Wes, most teams are using shotgun the majority of the time, but Kirk has always had great success under center. I guess how do you view the balance of doing the things you guys want to do out of shotgun, but also playing to his strength with those play actions under center?
I think you know, some of that it depends on the quarterback's comfort level. Obviously, there's some quarterbacks in this league that, you know, maybe their whole college career they were never under center. But I do think there's some variance when you're in the gun for gun runs as far as where the back is in relation to the line's combinations. If you're running a zone play and the back is offset, he's already kind of behind the line. Whereas if he's from the dot, you know, he's kind of out in front and can kind of set those combinations. So there's a different kind of feel when you're running from the gun for the line of understanding where is the back and where are the second level backers going to play or react. So you know, Kirk's ability to play from under center, and even he's had success in the drop back game from under center as well. He's got a good drop from under center where he does get depth away from the offensive line in the rush, but you know, some of those play passes I think do get set up a little bit better, whereas the fake happens really fast from the gun and you're kind of facing the defense. Now, if you've got a quarterback who's got the ability like Kirk to turn his back to the defense and really set that fake in there, you know, sometimes you can get those guys stepping up a little more and kind of get the guys behind them like you want.
How do you make the play action game successful out of shotgun?
Well, you know, we've been a little more under center for the play action game, but there are various ways to do it. You know, I mean, we still send fly motions, those types of things from the gun. When you pull a guard, you know, how does that affect a guy who's got a, you know, he's maybe fitting in that B gap, and now you pull the guard, and he's got to play the next gap over the top, and now he creates a lane, hopefully that you're trying to scheme and get into. But you know, you see some of the pistol guys are getting in some of the pistol, you know, mixing that in as well, and it's kind of quasi like you're under center. You know, you can kind of keep some of the same tracks for the back, and but it still happens a little bit faster for the Q.
Saw Jalen Naylor play on special teams. Where is he in sort of his offensive development and, you know, potential for getting on the field offensively?
He's a guy that Jalen's a real pro. I think he was coached well before he got to us, and you know, kind of just came in right from the start. Was all business. Was a guy that, as a rookie, was moving positions very early, whereas sometimes, you know, especially with young guys, you're trying to keep him, hey, he's always a Z, he's always an F. He was a guy that could play multiple positions from the start, so he kind of looks at football from a bigger picture standpoint, as opposed to seeing the plays getting installed and just, you know, having the blinders on saying this is what I do. And kind of the way we set up our offense with the multiple formations, we try to teach it conceptually. You really have to know the concept because we are going to move guys around and have multiple formations.
On your running game, you guys haven't broken a run longer than Rager's 17-yarder. Do you kind of look at it, you need to start breaking some long runs, or are you satisfied you're still averaging overall a solid 4.4 yards a carry?
Well, I think when you're averaging, you know, at a good clip, you know, and if you look at the a lot of the individual runs, they're kind of, we get tripped flying through the line. I don't know if you guys saw that. The linebacker sticks his leg out and trips us.
Dalvin pointed it out.
We would have been running up on the safety right there, and that's a tough tackle with Dalvin Cook on any safety in space. I think you've seen that we've kind of had some that are just right there, and really it's just, a commitment to keep giving our good players opportunities. I think those will come.
Wes, when it comes to the red zone, when you looked at the tape from last week, is there a consistent theme that was kind of hampering you guys, or was it individual on each play that you didn't come away with 6 and had to go for 3?
I think it's a combination of things. I think there's plays that we wish we could have called at different times. I think there's a missed opportunity here or there where you don't score. It's really like any play, but it's emphasized or highlighted down the red zone because you're expecting or hoping to come out with 7. But I think we had a couple ops that maybe we missed, whether that's up front, the skill position, the quarterback position. Usually these things kind of all play hand in hand, and it's not one guy. And then sometimes it's a play call where we could have put them in a better position as well. But we felt like we had a good plan, and we had a couple of good ops, and credit to New Orleans for making those stops.
When you do have an opening drive like you had with finding guys and creating some matchups, how important is it to finish that one with the touchdown, especially since it was like 3rd and goal from the 15?
Yeah, you feel like a little bit like, the football gods are on your side when you score and you get an offensive pass interference penalty, and now you're saying, okay, it's 3rd and 15. But it's also, good for the players to understand that, a screen pass can be an explosive play. It's not a throwaway play. We're not giving up on the down here. And for those guys to go execute the way they did, for Adam to get the block on the edge, for CD to come out and it was like Warner ran into a brick wall right there. And then for Alex to execute the footwork of the screen, make the catch, and then get north and score and do a little tea party was pretty good.
On that touchdown they called back, is there a coaching point there that can be made on how to sort of run that without the ref thinking it was a offensive pass interference, or is that just in the hands of whether an official wants to call it or not?
No, I think what Keenan talked to JJ about was just being careful of, okay, I've got contact, and really if you look at the clip, neither one of them was covering KJ. It looked like they were both thinking they were covering JJ, KJ's and JJ, but JJ's kind of outside releasing and then getting north. And the defender's there, and his arms kind of extended a little bit, and I think that's what the ref saw.
Yeah.
So, if you're working that edge and you slip up, if you can just avoid kind of putting the hands out right there where it felt like maybe to the refs at the time that was a pick.
Yeah.
So much has been said about CJ Ham, but you even went to him with that long ball once. What have you seen in him this year that you wanted to touch him on that play, and what he brings to the offense in terms of, the shock value or a surprise for other teams?
Yeah, those guys, New Orleans, they really step up. When you're inserting a fullback, and we really thought maybe he'd be a little more open than he was. It was a great throw by Kirk just to give him an opportunity right there in tight coverage. But CJ's an excellent athlete. He's a really smart player. I mean, he was obviously a halfback in college, and he's another guy that looks at the big picture. I mean, he can, if we called 12 personnel formations, he can go in and run all the plays. If we got in a pinch and we had to play him at halfback, he would know all the footworks and all the routes associated with the pass concepts. And he just kind of does everything right. You kind of explain it to him, it makes sense to him, and then he goes out on the field and you say, yeah, that's exactly what we're thinking.
On the Madison touchdown, obviously Darisaw kind of shows his special athleticism there. You've got that at both tackles. I mean, what does that do for an offense when you have guys that can get in space like that?
Well, I think as we go, you make a play. When something's successful like that as well, there's some confidence that that can be a part of our offense. Teams see that on tape as well and say, okay, you know, this is something we also have to defend. They have tackles on both sides that can get out and run and block on a perimeter screen where they can get out in space. It's just another aspect of our offense. You know, whether those guys end up pulling more, whether they, you know, we can just be more creative with how you use a guy as opposed to having maybe a lesser athlete that's just a big body out there.
Any more for Coach? Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.